Amen. All right. First, giving praise to God, through whom all blessings flow. And honor to Apostle Atkins in his absence, and First Lady Linda Atkins, to Overseer Marion Douglas, Evangelist Rhonda Hurst, to any other distinguished ministers, and to all of you dynamic dream girls who have gathered together this evening. Evangelist Hurst called me about a month and a half ago, early one morning. She said, Sister Velda, and for those of you who know her, you know how soft-spoken she is. She said, I don't normally call you this early, but if I'm calling you at 6:45 in the morning, then please understand that it's God. And she went on to tell me about this conference that she was hosting and how she wanted me to do a poem on the creation of woman, or at least the design that God had in mind when he created the first string girl. Well, I know God put Evangelist up to calling me because, first of all, Evangelist knows that I have a very hectic work schedule, and she couldn't have possibly known if I was going to get a chance to get off to do this, because I didn't even know if I was going to get off. All right. Second of all, a few weeks prior to her calling me, I hadn't been living up to God's expectations of the dream girl, or at least his expectations of that ideal woman that he created for man. For those of you who are married and have been married for some time know that sometimes you tend to take one another for granted. You see, sometimes these jobs just take so much out of you that by the time you get home, you don't have enough time or enough energy left for anybody, and you tend to fall into the rut. Well, being that I was in that rut, I really didn't even think that I was the perfect candidate to be standing here doing this, but Evangelist insisted upon me writing something, even if she was going to have to get somebody else to recite it. So I prayed and I talked to God. I said, well, Lord, I said, looks like I'm going to have to say something either way it go. I'm going to have to write something either way it go. I said, so show me, tell me what you would have to say to your daughters and my sisters who are going to be gathered together on that evening. And the first thing God did was to show me the error of my ways. And the second thing God did was he had me go to Genesis and read up on the creation of woman. And while they're in Genesis, it's like the words were just jumping up off the pages, like really the words of God stressing the importance of woman's role in our society. And the part that God really wanted me to get was, not only was woman made from man, she was made for man. You see, God works in mysterious ways, because in the physical realm, I know it looks like Evangelist just called me out of the blue to fill in a spot that needed to be filled out on the program. But in the spiritual realm, I don't know that we don't have that. In the spiritual realm, God already had this thing mapped out. That this anointed woman of God was going to be holding a dream girl conference on May the 14th, year 2011 at Great Imani Church and Christian Center at 3:00 p.m. to serve as a friendly reminder to me and other sisters like me who may have lost our focus on our part, our place, and our Christ in our husband's life. And I just want to say that I love you, Evangelist, and I thank God for you and your ministry. And more importantly, I'm so thankful that I serve a God who loves me so much that he will go through all of this just to help me get it right. I didn't mean to get sidetracked over here, but please stop and give me praise down there. With you that God gave to me, entitled Dream Girls, the design God had in mind. All right. Every man wants the girl of his dreams, but claims she's so very difficult to find. Well, let me tell you about the ideal dream girl, the design God had in mind. Now, to understand the creation of woman, this conference is a must. We're all familiar with how God created man. He formed Adam out of dust. All right now. Just imagine these tiny little dust particles that God scooped up from the ground. He then breathed life into his nostrils and brought brought that brother on around. Only God can do such a thing to propel a dust of man. So sisters, don't you be trying this not at home with the dust from your ceiling fan. Anyway, God said it's not good for man to be alone. The brother can't be having too much fun. God gave him dominion over every living creature, and Adam named them one by one. But no suitable helper was found for mankind, and Adam was known as the guest. And it wasn't like he could go to eHarmony because there was no such thing as the internet. But he had God, the internet, and God had something up his sleeve. He said, just a little dab of dust won't do it this time. I got something extra special for Eve. Well, all of a sudden, old Adam started yawning and sleepiness fell over him. For long, that brother was counting Z's like he had taken Tylenol PM. Now, there's a reason God put Adam to sleep. You see, he didn't want him to interfere. He said, I'm making the girl of my dreams. That way I know she'll be sincere. So he didn't have to think it through. He said, I'll just remove this bone from Adam's side and let the rib bone do what it do. God chose the skeletal system inside out, so he could have chosen any part. But he chose the bone from man's rib cage that protects the lungs and heart. Around this one bone, God fashioned us and he designed us to be man's queen. The bone that protects man's the very fiber of his being. God brought this woman to the man, her body all beautiful and soft. Oh, Adam could hardly believe his eyes. He's like, I must have dozed off. Whoa, man, she came from me. Oh my God, you are the best. And the man said, she is bone of my bone, and she's definitely flesh of my flesh. Sisters, God designed us to be virtuous women, classy and free of trauma. Designed to make a man want to cleave unto us and set back to his daddy and mama. Someone he's happy to have around, to pray for him and to lift him up and to encourage him when he's down. Oh, I'm talking about a woman so close to God, man can't help but want to be saved. Oh, I'm talking about a shown up, healthy woman, not helping me to early grave. I ain't doing all that. That's just a whole lot going on. But God made us strong yet gentle at the same time, like the characteristics of a real bone. And I know these brothers be tripping sometimes, but sisters, we be tripping too. Hell holds no fear like an upset sister. Come on, y'all.
You're on the Duke, there it is.
We won't even acknowledge him when he comes through the door. Won't even give him a second look. Can't ask a poor man how his day been at work. Too busy thumb dangling around on Facebook. Oh, it used to be a time when he would light up your life, but I guess now the love is gone dim. But remember, he wasn't created for you, see? You were created for him. True love doesn't keep count on doing, but sisters, we keep a thick numb folder. But did you know that every time you give your mate silent treatment, it's like giving God the cold shoulder? All your days gonna be lovey-dovey. There'll be days where you're bitter and fuss. Or there'll be days where he'll want his phone back, and you wish he turned back to a pile of good. But what I'm saying is, we know God's intentions for us, and to do otherwise would be appalling. God has a purpose for us, so let's walk it out in our high heels, high hopes, and high callers. Let us be what God would have us to be, the way he fashioned us way back in time. Yes, there is such a thing as an ideal dream girl. God himself came up with the design.